Iran's back-to-back shock to Trump. After US delays power grid strikes, escalating tensions between Iran and the United States have once again taken a dramatic turn, marked by what many analysts describe as back-to-back shocks delivered by Tehran to former US President Donald Trump. These developments came in the wake of Washington's decision to delay planned strikes on Iran's power grid infrastructure, a move that has reshaped both the military and diplomatic landscape of the Middle East. Initially, the United States had threatened to launch targeted attacks on Iran's energy infrastructure, particularly its power plants, as part of a broader strategy to pressure Tehran. The ultimatum was tied to Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial global oil transit route. However, in a surprising shift, Trump announced a temporary postponement of these strikes, citing what he described as productive conversations with Iranian representatives. Reuters Plus One. This delay, however, did not de-escalate tensions. Instead, it opened the door for Iran to assert its position more aggressively. Iranian officials quickly denied that any direct negotiations with the United States had taken place, labeling Trump's statements as fake news aimed at manipulating global markets. This contradiction created confusion on the international stage and undermined the credibility of Washington's narrative. Reuters. At the same time, Iran's military posture grew increasingly assertive. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard (IRGC) warned that any attack on Iranian infrastructure would trigger widespread retaliation. This included potential strikes on power plants and energy facilities across the region, especially those linked to US interests. Such threats signaled Iran's readiness to expand the conflict beyond its borders, raising fears of a broader regional war. Modern diplomacy. One of the most significant shocks to Trump's strategy was Iran's ability to maintain strategic leverage despite intense pressure. Tehran demonstrated that it could influence global energy markets, disrupt regional stability, and maintain internal cohesion even under the threat of military action. The mere possibility of Iranian retaliation caused fluctuations in oil prices and stock markets, highlighting the global impact of the. Another key development was the apparent contradiction between Trump's rhetoric and Iran's response. While Trump expressed optimism about a potential deal and even hinted at major agreements regarding oil and gas cooperation, Iranian officials remained publicly defiant. This disconnect suggested either a breakdown in communication or a strategic use of messaging by both sides to gain leverage. Iran International Ma'arif. Iran's strategic use of indirect diplomacy added another layer of complexity. Reports indicated that countries such as Pakistan and Gulf states were acting as intermediaries, facilitating back-channel communications between Washington and Tehran. This approach allowed both sides to explore diplomatic options without appearing weak or compromising their public positions. Reuters' delay in US strikes also gave Iran valuable time to strengthen its defenses and coordinate its regional allies. Analysts believe that Tehran used this period to prepare contingency plans, including potential cyber attacks and asymmetric warfare strategies. This adaptability further complicated the United States military calculations from a geopolitical perspective. These events highlight the limitations of traditional military pressure in dealing with a resilient and strategically positioned adversary like Iran. Despite facing significant economic sanctions and military threats, Iran has managed to maintain its influence and project power across the region. This resilience has challenged assumptions within the US administration about the effectiveness of coercive tactics. 2503-2026-2056. Jamal Samadov. Additionally, the situation underscores the importance of perception in international politics. Trump's announcement of productive talks may have been intended to signal strength and progress, but Iran's immediate denial turned it into a perceived setback. This information battle became as important as the physical conflict itself, shaping global opinion and influencing diplomatic outcomes. In conclusion, Iran's response to the delayed US strikes represents a multifaceted challenge to American strategy. By combining military deterrence, diplomatic ambiguity, and economic leverage, Tehran delivered what can be seen as back-to-back shocks to Trump's approach. The situation